could learn magic. Wouldn't that be fun?
If you have the opportunity to learn magic rather than juggling,
and you pick juggling, right?
That's on
See,
you,
that's the
buddy.
thing. This is the modern world. You do have the opportunity to learn magic rather than juggling, and you chose juggling.
Yeah, you don't have to like figure out secretly how to be a magician's assistant anymore.
Yeah, like
You can just
we have the internet.
yeah.
Everyone has the choice to learn magic at any time, and the people that juggle are people that thought to themselves, I should learn to do something like this. And their options were magic and juggling. And then they chose juggling. How do you want me to trust that person? That's like the kind of person that goes down into the sewer after the clown. Because the clown told you there was something in the sewer for you.
I do see your point.
Thank you.
Or I see your logic. Maybe not the point, but certainly the logic.
Okay.
All I'm saying is they could learn magic. And that would be much more impressive. You know who I would trust? Someone who could do magic. I mean, I would trust them, but, you know, they'd be more impressive.
It was the underground messing with your sensors.
Oh, dude.
I'm thinking. Does Roxanne ever use the subway to ship new form?
There's a, what's the word here? A cache down here? Cache? Do you say cache or cache?
So they could be using it under the table.
I do hate that word though.
Cache.
So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
mentioned
it's an uncomfortable word.
you got other family?
Who did the thing just highlight on the other side of this?
Like taking his job. I miss him.
Oh, just someone who wants to say hi? Hell yeah.
We used to mix beats together.
Well, maybe now you can see him again. Them.
The train one from before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're exactly where we left
I
off.
should go. Fight underground. Bye.
I forgot what mission we were doing at the end of last time
Ah,
because my short-term memory
not great.
non-existent.
Oh, hey, maybe you could fix it with juggling.
I don't think that juggling is a solution for my short-term memory loss. But I will certainly, you know what, I will learn to juggle for you, and I will certainly try.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's going to create issues because, as you know, I don't like jugglers.
You don't like jugglers. And I intend to juggle at
Oh.
least once a day around you.
The crazy thing is, I used to be pretty damn good at juggling because I knew a whole bunch of people
Yeah,
who could
fucking
juggle.
of course you were.
I just, like, you just pick it up after a certain amount of time.
Certainly, yes.
What? It's like how Thor knows how to do illusion magic to some extent.
Hmm.
Because canonically, he spends enough time around his brother that, you know, he just got it. This is the stealth section. I mean, it's an optional stealth section. They're all optional stealth sections.
Yeah.
Good time to try out Pete's visor tech. Nice.
You cannot tell me that every single person Spidey does that to walks away
Unharmed? Well, no,
not
alive.
not dead.
Unharmed is a strong
Like,
word.
that man's whole head just got slammed into the concrete with the full force of a whole-ass human behind it.
Yes. But hey, crucially, he's still moving around. That's alive. It's like when Batman shoots at you with his beanbag cannon.
Because Batman, of all characters, doesn't carry a fucking gun.
Hey, Batman has an issue with guns because he refuses to get over the death of his parents. He just absolutely refuses to do it.
Batman doesn't have powers. He needs to carry a
A gun.
gun.
Well, I guess, does a beanbag cannon count as a gun?
The person that just got dropped on
Oh,
is
yeah, they're
dead
dead.
for sure.
No, those guys are dead. Like, you can't tell me they survived that. Like, those two are not moving.
No.
They're, like, every bone in their body is broken. But, no, Batman doesn't carry a gun, because he's prejudiced against guns, because, trauma from his childhood.
Mhm.
And instead, he shoots non-lethal beanbags at like 200 miles an hour
A
directly at a
beanbag
person.
would do more
A
damage.
beanbag would do much more damage than a bullet, right? No, he shoots them out of his car, out of his tank car, at like 200 miles an hour, directly into the bodies of regular, like, crooks. He never brings that out for, like, the Joker. It's always, oh, yeah, here's Jeremy and his gang. They like to rob banks on the weekends.
Batman has too much money.
Batman has way too much money. Wayne Enterprises lets him do whatever he wants, and that's a problem. And I know people keep trying to say, oh, he would be Batman without the money. And I'm like, well, yes, he would be Batman without the
However-
money. But we've seen how that goes. He dies every time. Every single time he's Batman without the money, he dies. Horribly. Like, it's not...
Because he doesn't have all
He
that,
doesn't have all the money!
all the money and all the tech. And you know what he also doesn't have? A gun!
A gun! Like, he refuses
Any
to carry
way
a gun!
in which to defend himself without...
Without all the powers and tech! And he, like, every single time we see Batman without the money, he dies.
It's just like, if Tony Stark wasn't rich, Tony Stark would be dead.
Yeah. And Tony Stark, honestly, would be Iron Man if he wasn't rich. Because he built the first Iron Man suit without any money.
Yeah.
He built it from fucking spare parts in the desert. Like, yeah. Iron Man could do it. Batman could not do it. Batman doesn't even build his own shit. He buys it. People keep saying he builds his own shit.
No,
but like,
he doesn't.
He canonically buys all of it. It's like a huge problem because it's fucking... He embezzles massive amounts of money from his company to buy all this crap.
Okay, one more. Worked. We've got trains on the tracks. Now they need power.
You putting together a train.
There we go.
They busted the controls here too, but not the generator.
Ah, yes. A generator.
Certainly.
Okay.
That's how
we can
generators
use that
work,
to
right?
power the trains.
That's what they look like.
Probably.
Mhm.
My webs are conducted.
You can just punch them with electricity and it works.
That was my shoulder, if y'all heard that pop noise. Yeah, but unlike
Come on, trusty New York.
Tony Stark, who
Builds his own shit.
built his own shit and is a genius without
Yeah.
the money,
Hey, Mr. Davis. Did anything change?
Bruce is just kind of a himbo.
Bruce is kind of a himbo, yeah. And like,
Just incredibly traumatized himbo.
World's greatest detective never stops any crimes before they happen.
I got a little something here.
He can't detect the crimes before they happen.
For me?
World's greatest detective would know to shoot the Joker.
Exactly.
World's greatest
Stop
detective.
letting him live.
World's greatest detective would have realized that the Joker gets released from Arkham Asylum more than he breaks out.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that, and I am not a detective of any kind.
Good.
I just feel like
Conspiracy in my neighborhood.
the world's greatest detective, so-called, self-proclaimed, should have known.
Like, okay. First, you gotta get over your parents being murdered.
Yeah,
It was
it-
forever and a day ago.
It's been, what, 50 years?
Yeah.
You've got 6 kids of your own now. It's time to go see a therapist about that.
It really is.
Also-
Like, Harley keeps trying to therapize you.
And
She's a doctor.
she is
Listen
a
to
doctor.
her.
Like, she's a good doctor. Here's the thing.
So many requests.
Like, bro,
Batman,
Harley has a degree, and
It's-
she's in your house anyway.
like, she's around all the time. Okay, here's my thing.
City's counting on me.
As Batman, your parents' death is not tragic enough to warrant this
All
response.
this.
But I kept my
Like, okay,
As soon as I'm done
if
here.
your parents were, like, tortured to death by the fucking Joker, like, I don't know, Neville Longbottom's parents were,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing. No, your parents were robbed. It was a robbery gone wrong. That was it.
Yeah.
Also, it was their fault. Look,
They were
They're-
walking in an alley that is notorious for robbing and murdering.
it's literally called Crime Alley.
Yeah.
It's called Crime Alley.
Why was the richest family in Gotham in Crime Alley?
Like, the two richest people in the city left the theater alone in the middle of the night and went directly through Crime Alley. No bodyguards, none of them was carrying a gun. They just thought to themselves, I'll take my massive fur coat and my string of pearls. Here, me and my wife, the two richest people in the city, our young son, and we'll walk through Crime Alley. Like, that's their own fault.
It
Okay?
is. Look, sometimes
Yeah.
you are to blame.
Yeah.
If you put yourself into Crime Alley and you expect not
Exactly.
to get crimed, that's on you.
There's a lot of crimes that you can't blame a person for, and like the victim is never to blame for a lot of things. But if you
Getting
are,
murdered in Crime Alley.
yeah, if you are the
is-
richest family in Gotham City, and you decide I'm gonna walk through Crime Alley in the middle of the night
with my
if a
wife
crime-
and small child.
with my wife and small child, and no security detail. Like if a crime happens to you, that's your fault. That is genuinely entirely your fault. You can't tell me they didn't know. Oh yeah, crime happens here, here in Crime Alley. Why were you at the theater anyway?
You have a home theater, and we
They
know
have a
that.
massive home theater. They just couldn't wait to get Shrek on DVD, I guess. Due to Batman having to stay the same age. It's not unlikely anymore that 20 years ago.
No.
Nah, he probably wasn't seeing Shrek. He's much older than that.
Yeah.
Too old to be. He could have been seeing Back to the Future
Oh, he could have.
or Star Wars.
Certainly too old to be doing this shit anymore.
Yeah, certainly too old. It's like, okay, in one of the Elseworlds ones, we see what happens if Bruce is the one that dies, and Bruce's dad becomes Batman in that one. And it's so much more believable, because in that one,
Bruce's dad carries a gun.
Bruce's dad carries a gun. He carries multiple guns. And in that one, he becomes
Batman's
Batman.
kids carry guns.
Oh, so many of them carry. The only one that doesn't carry a gun is Dick. And Dick doesn't carry a gun because he's an acrobat. And like,
Dick the Leaper.
yeah.
Oh, I think that's funny.
Sidebar, Dick Grayson and his relationship with Starfire is very odd. Because Starfire keeps really trying to tell us, like, no, he's not called Dick for no reason.
And also that he's a bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, both of those. But, okay, so he becomes Batman in that one. Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. After his wife goes crazy from the loss of their son and becomes the Joker. And I'm like, that's a good reason to become Batman.
Yeah.
That's a damn good reason to become Batman right there.
It is.
You know it's not a good reason to become Batman?
Your parents being murdered.
My
when you
parents
were
got murdered when I was 8. It was like truly a random crime. Unfortunately.
8. And like, yeah, super traumatic event. See a therapist.
Also, he caught the guy that did it.
Yeah. We know that therapists exist in this world.
Yes.
Readily.
He does keep sending all these villains to an asylum where they then get therapied and released.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Also,
you're not dealing with these villains properly, bro.
No. Sometimes the villain's gotta die.
Yeah, the Joker's gotta die. The Joker has to die. The Joker literally says to Batman a lot that Batman is the reason he exists. And he does this to beat Batman. Like, that person's not gonna get therapied. He doesn't want anything.
He's also never gonna stop.
Yeah. Like, he gets released from Arkham like every other week. As do every other villain that Batman fights. Except, like, the Penguin. Penguin goes to jail. Yeah, because the Penguin, like, everyone else is criminally insane.
Penguin's just a bad person.
Yeah. No, like, that's it.
I love that.
Everyone else is criminally insane. So whenever the police get them, they fucking send them straight to Arkham Asylum because you can't arrest that person. They're not in their right mind.
After watching OG Batman vs. Penguin, had nightmares about Penguin for almost a year.
Why?
The flipper hands.
Yeah.
I
It is weird that he has
just
those.
couldn't.
Those are weird.
They no, now my hands feel weird
Yeah,
because
you
I thought
probably
about
shouldn't have
it.
thought about it.
Shit! Why do I do this to myself?
I don't know. I really wish I could tell you.
Why do I do this?
Again, I wish I could tell you why you're like this to yourself.
Because I'm a fool.
You okay, Mr.
Hey, Uncle Aaron.
Thanks to you. Oh, hey. Here you go. 1 year unlimited subway pass.
Thanks.
Did I get the name right?
How did you... Okay, gotta go.
You think your Uncle Aaron's not gonna recognize your voice? Bruh!
When I saw the news yesterday.
Like he clocked it seeing the news.
Damn.
This man was at home like, oh, that looks familiar. So yeah, you gotta kill the Joker.
Don't worry, I won't tell your mom.
You gotta kill Two-Face.
Promise.
You gotta stop being Batman. It's a problem.
Dad can see you now.
None of the other Batmen around the city are creating villains like you, Bruce. Don't you see that that's an issue?
Nah. Like I said, he just...
Like, the number of supervillains in Gotham City with ties to Wayne Enterprises is too many. It's just too many.
I can handle it.
Like, half of them.
But listen, you get in over your head, you give me a call.
Go see a therapist about your parents being dead and you falling into that bat-themed cave that one time. Don't have a secret lair. Come on.
A secret cave lair.
A secret
Bab.
cave lair.
If it's in your house, okay, sure. But it's a cave.
Yeah, like, you like, got a cave. I mean, you found the cave under your house. Doesn't make it better.
No. In fact, that makes it worse. You have a cave under your house. That's so dangerous.
Yeah, especially because you have a giant mansion. And how is it that none of the villains track him back to Wayne Manor? Because Wayne Manor is not in Gotham. It's outside the city, and it's the only house where it is. And Batman drives there in his tank mobile, going 300 miles an hour. I would notice that.
Right? Like, seems suspicious to me. I'd follow him at least once.
I'd be like, hey, isn't it weird that Batman always leaves the city at the end of the night? Like, we can hear him leaving. And giant tank car.
Side note, if you guys are into politics, they haven't called the Purdue Ossoff race yet, but John Ossoff is leading by a whole ass 2 points.
At time of recording.
At time of recording, which is 8:45 in the morning today. This Wednesday.
July 6th? January 6th.
Yes, July 6th.
Look.
July 6th.
The world has gone crazy, okay? Get off my ass.
It has. And Warnock won his race. So, Senate's flipping blue this year, guys.
I don't. Can you explain all of that to me? I'm a foreigner.
Yes.
None of that meant words.
Okay, so...
Start with, what is the Senate?
The Senate
Republican.
is...
My Star Wars fans out there. You enjoyed Star Wars 2? You'll like that joke. But yes, the Senate. What is it? What does it do?
So the Senate is the part of Congress that is like the last step of like legislation and decision making.
I see. How many steps are there?
There's creating the bill and then getting the bill to the House, and then the House votes on it, and then it goes to the Senate.
I see. It's a lot of steps.
It is. It's parliament, but wrong.
It sounds like. I mean,
It's like if you told a 4-year-old what parliament was and then had them create a government.
sounds about right.
Good thinking on the backup systems.
That's how most things in America sound. It's like if you explained it to a small child and they had to do it.
Just need to find
And the reason
Spider-Man! Wait! Spider-Man went down that elevator shaft.
the reason shit keeps getting fucked and laws keep getting not passed and bills keep getting not passed, and like the reason we didn't get $2,000 stimmy checks is because Mitch McConnell has too much fucking power as the speaker for the Senate majority, which was the Republican Party for several years. So now
Why is it not always an equal number? Why is it allowed to be a majority of your two disparate parties that don't agree on anything?
Because it's the people vote them in. I don't
Why?
know. Because democracy.
Why are the people allowed to vote? That's not a people vote them in position. That's
That's how it works. Is people vote in the congressman most aligned with their personal beliefs.
that's not how that should work. It should be an equal number of both sides.
It should.
Because
Because
first
again,
of all, America has
wrong
decided
parliament.
yeah, America has decided to have two parties that just completely opposite of each other,
Oh yeah.
attempting to rule one country, which even a child could see that that's not how governments work. But it should be an equal, like, you shouldn't have a majority that can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Because apparently,
And block the votes of the other party. But Mitch McConnell has been fucking Senate Majority Speaker for years now. I know the entirety of the Trump administration, but I also think the latter half of the Obama administration. Fucking crusty ass, rickety ass old man. But now that Democrats lead the Senate, we're gonna get a new Senate Speaker. And the Senate Speaker is the final vote on any legislation.
that's too much power. I've noticed that America tends to concentrate power on specific, like, they have a lot of systems that on the surface appear
Look like democracy.
yeah, that look like they like spread the power out so no single person has it, but they immensely concentrate power on like individual people.
Mhm.
Like, y'all are living in a dictatorship
Oh yeah.
and just
Anyone
pretending
who-
it's a democracy.
Anyone who thinks this isn't like, okay, it used to be an oligarchy, but the bipartisan system has gotten to such a severe point that it is 100% a dictatorship now.
This is like,
It's like it's a dictatorship, but it's like for dictators.
yeah,
think I heard something.
and except it's just the one being the one agenda that they've decided to
Anybody I know?
support.
Seriously, who planned the bank robbery?
That's enough politics for today. Just wanted to say that if Ossoff doesn't win, it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be in this country for much longer.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not hanging around to deal with the consequences of late stage capitalism and the fall of the American empire.
oh yeah. However, even if he doesn't, it means that the Senate will be split 50-50 for the first time in like 100 years.
It was worth a try.
Now, even I can tell that's an issue.
Gotta clear out these guys.
Like,
Then I can figure
Oh
out
yeah, it
But-
means
but-
no decision is ever going to be made.
yeah, y'all can't agree on anything. Again, having two parties that are completely unaligned with each other and agree on no singular issue is a problem.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's completely antithetical to the running of a government based on votes. Like, a bipartisan system is just wrong.
It is. And America is too big.
Far too big. Like, bipartisan, two parties wouldn't work in, like, a team of 10 people. And especially not when those two parties are split, like, hard down the middle.
Oh yeah.
It's not that they kind of disagree on some things. It's they fully don't agree on anything.
And most of the things that they extremely don't agree on are basic human rights.
Yeah, like human rights. Like that.
Time to
Like,
shoot
Your
bridge.
presidency should not be allowed. You realize that's the thing Americans complain about communists doing, is taking away human rights. And then they're like, I'll pay $2,000 for my broken arm.
Yeah.
Like a broken arm costs $2,000.
Like, you legally are required to have car insurance in order to drive a
I
car.
don't think it's hooked up.
However, if you get into a wreck that you pay for insurance for, you will be paying more. You have to pay for insurance for the wreck that you got into with the insurance that you already paid for.
Connection solid.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What a country.
Let there be.
Well, oh, Derek.
Spider-Man?
The way he tossed that cat into the bag.
Oh, hey, the cat's in the bag.
I love that.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Once I leave and I get to watch, finally, this hellscape nightmare come to a close. I hope you people are okay, but I want you to know, I am not from this country, and I've been here less than 2 years at this point in time. I have already suffered so much more than I would ever have suffered in my own country. Like, I just can't. I'd love to stay and fight, but this isn't my fight. These aren't my people.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah,
Just too long.
too long. Far too long.
And for any of you who are thinking about saying some shit, Alistair didn't choose to come here, and not liking it here is exactly why we're leaving. So you
Yeah.
can't just say, well, if you don't like it, leave.
That's what I'm
trying.
doing.
We're trying.
I didn't want to come here. My family brought me here against my wishes because I told them. I straight up told them, hey, late stage capitalism is destroying this country. The fact that we hear more about school shootings happening in America than literally, like, America has more school shootings than anywhere else.
Combined.
I see Americans, like, talking about shit like fucking shooter drills happening. And I'm like, no one else can relate to that.
Yeah.
Only you have had that experience.
I hate it here, and I am not raising my children in a country with active shooter drills.
That
It's
shouldn't
just not
exist.
happening.
It shouldn't exist. And I'm like, other countries have one school shooting every decade, and y'all have had like 7 since Monday.
Right? And you know, the school shooters are never like, in other countries, it's never about how they were bullied.
No. It's,
And you know,
oh my god, what a horrible terrorist that did a horrible terrorist thing.
kitty.
Like this fucking bombing that happened a little while ago
Mm-hmm.
in fucking Nashville. Like, that's a major terrorist event.
Yeah.
And I literally saw the police refer to him as kind of a sad dude. I'm like, bro, you gotta know that this shit is not right.
Mm-hmm.
Think I stopped? Spider-Man and cat safe.
But
Also,
really-
Americans need to stop being so worried about foreign terrorists. There has been exactly one act of foreign terrorism in this country, and we all know that Bush did that.
Yeah, statistically speaking, most terrorist acts in America are committed by American nationals
Yeah.
against Planned Parenthood.
Spider-Man!
Yeah. It's because the media never calls anything terrorism unless it's a brown person.
Spider-Man did have an adventure.
Got a heart attack.
Oh my god. This cat is my favorite character in this game, aside from Rio herself.
Good work on the Spider-Man.
Infant formula milk powder. Legally non-branded infant formula milk powder.
Certainly. Sidebar.
Chips?
I would happily die for Rio Morales.
Hey, man. Any leads on who our cat
And that's
thieves are
the
working
end of
for?
this episode.
I'm chasing
Yes, it
down a couple
is.
pros
Like,
that might
comment,
have
subscribe.
robberies on
If
Tunnel's
you
commercial.
feel like I said
Going down
something that you disagree with
I'll
politically,
post in the app when I know more.
die.
Cool.
Just
Thanks, dude.
take yourself and cease to exist. I don't want to hear your opinion. Don't fucking at me, because I will come after you for it.
Like,
I'll have a problem with you.
on the things we said today, if you disagree, you're probably a Nazi.
Like, you're probably a fucking Nazi. And I don't respect the opinions of Nazis. I can just say that. I feel like I'm safe enough to say
We don't respect
that's
the
not
opinions
a.
of Nazis
I realize
here.
that's a controversial thing to say here in America, but I don't agree with Nazis.
Yeah. But for the rest of you who also hate it here, we love you,
Yeah.
and we hope you're doing okay.
Also, leaving is an option. It's a very good option.
It is.
Super viable. You never need to worry about a credit score again. They
Yeah.
don't exist anywhere else. They just don't exist.
Credit scores are things that the American capitalist system made up.
You can just buy stuff.
Yeah.
And you have
It's
money to
also-
buy stuff
and-
too, because you don't have massive debt.
You can have health care.
For free.
Yeah.
Escape your debts by leaving the country.
Yeah. It's super easy.
It's super easy to do. You're Americans.
You
the
can
whole,
pretty
like,
much go anywhere.
You can just go 119 countries. Anywhere that isn't designated as a terrorist country, you can just go. So, I mean, anywhere without brown people, but hey, details. Alright, I'm ending that.